Hey there, it's your boy Foxy, back for more relationship stories. Am I wrong for agreeing with her ex and not my sister? As a kid, I always looked up to my older sis because she was so cool, pretty, and the popular girl. I always tried to be like her, dress like her, listen to her music, you get the idea. I was popular the first time I stepped through the high school door because I was basically a copy of her. I was overwhelmed by the attention, but quickly found out she was mostly popular with only the guys. She dated many of the guys in our high school and they thought I would too. I was so embarrassed, so I had our mom take me out to buy new clothes and everything. Whatever she did, I went the opposite way. She wore tons of makeup, I wore none. She listened to a certain type of music, I didn't. And we went to different colleges. Fast forward to now. Sis must have figured out her lifestyle wasn't healthy, so she stopped dating a bunch of men, deleted all of those apps, and met Sam. He's very good looking with a great personality and amazing job. He was smart, funny, outgoing, and can own the entire room when he walks in. He grew up in a different city so his family doesn't live here, but we've met and they're amazing just like him. Sam quickly replaced us as mom's favorite child and became our dad's best friend. He eventually proposed and everyone was over the moon. I was very happy for sis. Then last week she came to my door looking like a complete wreck. She was crying so hard she couldn't talk. After an hour or so, I calmed her down enough to get the story. Apparently, they were at a party and was mingling separately when he overheard some guys talking about her popularity. Sam joined the group and got her dating history. 2 of the guys in that group dated her, and about 4 other guys at that party did too, one of whom works with him, which is why they were there. He heard about the guys laughing about how all the men in the town were depressed when she went away to college, but rejoiced when she came back. When they got home, he asked her, he told him the truth, and he left without saying a word. I helped sis and she's been staying with me for now. She hasn't told anyone, and have been trying to get in touch with Sam and his family, but they're all ignoring her. Everyone on our side is super confused because Sam just disappeared. Our cousin, my best friend, pinned me down the other day to ask what happened. I told her and she was appalled. She called him all sorts of names and insecure. I said I can understand from his view as we live in a small town, and it's hard to know that many men and your coworkers know your future wife. Then my cousin and I got into it. She said I should be supporting my sis no matter what. I argued that I am supporting her, but supporting doesn't mean I have to agree with her. Now I might lose my best friend. Edit, we're all in our 30s, graduated college, and living on our own. Now for the top comments. You're the idiot, and so is your sister's ex. She deserves better. Quit punishing women for enjoying sex. Just one quick question here as a woman. I don't have any issues with anyone's life choices, but aren't we allowed to make decisions based on what our values are? Maybe they're not compatible when it comes to relationship views or the intimate life, etc. She can live her life the way she wants, but why do Sam cannot make his decision and live the life he wants with the person he prefers? Why is he the bad person for deciding whether something works for him or not? Because this is something that happened years and years ago, not during their relationship. If he's judging her for her past actions, which weren't actually harmful or violent against anyone, despite supposedly being in love with the person she is today, then he sucks. If you love someone, it doesn't make you a great dude kick them to the curb because they had a different lifestyle years before. Unless that lifestyle was like serial killing or puppy torture or something. It may have happened years and years ago, but she and her fiancé went to one party, and he ran into almost half a dozen guys who had slept with her. Maybe he just doesn't want to continue happening for the rest of his life. Like her sister said, it's a small town. Yeah, I absolutely couldn't live someplace where half the town slept with my man and discussed it in groups. Plus, that kind of seems like something you'd be upfront about. Hey hon, before I met you I kind of got around. Maybe she wasn't honest with him or had failed to bring it up, and he got the news in the rudest way possible. No idiots here. Controversial opinion, but I would hate to be in a room and find out that my fiancé slept with half the people in the room. I would feel lied to, because a lie of omission is still a lie. If he had told me his history prior, then I could have been prepared for what may happen or what people may say. Y'all ever watched Gilmore Girls where Rory gets upset when she finds out that she was stuck in a room where all the girls had a fling with her boyfriend, and she was like, you could have at least warned me. Finally, a reasonable post. If it wasn't a big deal, why did she hide it? These people sound like they're riddled with copium about their prior choices in life. Nobody wants to be with someone who's dated the entire town and not even told you. What else important haven't they told you? Will their past history stay in the past, or is it a good predictor of their future in a committed relationship? I dunno, I think a lot of these people in the comments aren't being realistic with how people actually think and judge how trustworthy someone is who you could be spending the rest of your life with. Next story. Am I wrong for telling my ex she has a month to move out? Now for the context. On the 20th of October, my ex broke up with me telling me she didn't love me anymore. The main reason she gave me was that I wasn't there enough for her, and she was frustrated with my lack of housework. This was all completely valid. I've been severely depressed and was slacking hard. She made no attempt to make it work and wanted to end the relationship then and there, which she did. Now I was absolutely devastated. I love this girl immensely and been with her for 6 years. I was even planning to ask her to marry me in 2024 and had a ring picked and was saving up for it. I went through 2 years of homelessness for her, a whole other story I won't get into, so I could live in the same country as her. I left a lot behind just for her. So understandably, I'm very frustrated that she didn't try and talk to me beforehand so we could fix these issues. Her reason being for not telling me is she was worried I would do something stupid, which I wouldn't have, as proven by when she ended it with me. After all this, I told her she could stay till she finds a place till January. However, recently she's been talking to a guy who she met a week before she left me. He was a college friend I reconnected with and I introduced them both, and has been unloading her feelings on him while shutting me out completely and ending any conversation I start with her. She's also been doing all the stuff we used to do with him. I feel betrayed by this, and just can't have this happen to me under the same roof. It hurts way too much. So with this, and just living with someone you love immensely and doesn't love you back, I told her yesterday that she needs to leave by the 15th of December for my own physical and mental well-being. She very clearly angry at me and says I'm a jerk. Am I wrong for telling her she has a month to leave? Extra bits of context. Unfortunately, all my local friends were originally her friends, so they hate me now, and I have no one to talk to physically, which hurts. I have no family where I currently live. She said she stopped loving me the past year, which has been the peak of my depression. She doesn't have anyone in the area she can live with, and no family in our city. Her job is low paying. Only reason she stays there is that she likes all her coworkers and are good friends with them. She has basically no credit score as he relied on me for that, and she also owns our cats, so she needs to find a pet-friendly place, which isn't always easy. The flat is rented social housing. I'm the one who's on and signed the tenancy. She moved in a month later. Forgot to mention, seeing a theme here, that her parents do have a spare bedroom at their place about an hour and 30 minutes away, so worst case scenario she's living with them again. Not wrong. 30 days is a pretty standard warning, and if you'd asked outsiders for advice, giving a month's notice is the advice you would have gotten. You'd think she'd want to leave. Living with an ex sounds like a mental health nightmare. You're definitely doing the right thing. Are you covered legally? Is the house or lease just in your name? Yay, it's a rented social tenancy. It's in my name and my name only. I'd give her a few days to leave, not a month. She needs to be gone as soon as possible. Right. She broke up with you, bro. Did she think she'd still live there forever after the breakup? You're only taking 2 weeks away from her by asking her to leave by December 15th versus January. The only thing to do when you break up with someone is to leave, even if you have to fulfill some obligation, like continuing to pay your share for 30 days or whatever. She broke up the relationship. She leaves the house, especially if she's dating again. You gave her plenty of notice, but check squatter and rent rights in your area. She could potentially take you to court for not following them. Good luck. Sorry that happened to you. Not the idiot. She isn't dating him. She's dating other people with no regard of OP's feelings. She's free to see whomever she pleases, but that doesn't mean she has to do it in OP's house. Next story. Am I wrong for not getting on a flight upon finding out that he put my kids in economy? Plus update. So, my fiancé has 3 kids from his former marriage, whilst I have 2 from my former marriage as well. I quit my job to start focusing on getting my degree. He's become the breadwinner, if you will, although I still contribute with my savings. I also do 80% of childcare and chores. Long story short, he wanted me and my kids to attend Thanksgiving with his family, who are located across country, and we were supposed to go yesterday, ahead of time, to get a rental place. He booked our tickets and everything, but later before the flight, I found out that he, his kids, and myself were put in first class whilst my 2 kids, 14 and 10, were put in economy. I was stunned. He acted like it was a no big deal and told us it's just few hours and the kids could just hang in there for a little while. I asked how he could think this was acceptable, and he got mad and said he's the one paying for tickets, then we go by his rules. I immediately turned around and took the kids and made my way out of the airport. He started following us, screaming at me to go back, but I refused and told him that I no longer felt like spending Thanksgiving with his folks after this. My youngest cried because she never flew without me. He went with his kids, me and the kids are home. He has not stopped calling trying to berate me, and even had his mom text that I needed to get over myself and stop teaching my kids to be spoiled and entitled. She said that the fact that I was willing to miss Thanksgiving with the family over something so trivial shows my real character and personality, and mindset or lack thereof. I have not replied, but I feel horrible. Am I the idiot? Should I have just let it slide and just went? In case I wasn't clear, me and the kids left our family/hometown so we could go celebrate with his family in his hometown. My kids weren't too excited leaving their grandparents for a week or so. Now for the top comments before reading the update. Not wrong. His kids in first class, your kids in economy. That's a bad sign for the future. Then his response is to berate you, and future mother-in-law calling your kids spoiled and entitled. Even worse. It would not have ended here. I would be done with that relationship. Yes, the OP should end that relationship. Feels like OP is in a situation where she can't leave him. That's why she didn't mention it in her post. It's possible. She absolutely shouldn't marry him though. No, you are right and not in the wrong. Either all kids fly one way or no dice. If you can afford first class for 4, you can afford first class for 6, or all fly economy if you don't want kids to feel entitled. He has clearly shown where your kids rate to him, especially over his kids. You may want to rethink marriage to someone like that. Notice how not a single one of his excuses or reasons are about money though. Yeah, it's probably unrealistic for most people to afford 6 first-class tickets, but if that's the case, 1, it should have been handled better, or like you said, everyone should have flown economy, and 2, he would have said he couldn't afford it when she found out and got upset. None of it was about the cost, only my money, my decision. They can tough it out, don't be entitled and spoiled, it's not a big deal. Like, this is so clearly not about the money. Now for the update. I'm currently getting myself and the kids packed so that we go stay with my mother. This has happened before in other instances, but I kept thinking to myself, this is not right, but I have invested too much time and effort in this relationship, so maybe this shouldn't get in the way. And I try to minimize most situations where I find my kids being put last. Not only that, but he tried to give me an ultimatum regarding getting my degree, and what was my response? This isn't right, but kept making light of it and letting go. Now he's probably bad-mouthing me to the whole family, and so is his mom, bless her effing heart. The kids and I are leaving, he'll be coming back to an empty home. Except he'll find some company with the engagement ring that I took off and left on the nightstand. Distance and some reevaluation is needed right now. Thank you to all who reached out with helpful input and perspectives. You're right, my kids come first, and that's what I keep trying to do, and I hope I won't ever fail. Thank you so much for the support. Last story. Am I wrong for confronting my husband for treating the girls so differently? My husband and I have been dating for 5 years, married for 1. He has a daughter, Luna, and I have a daughter called Anya. We have decided not to combine our finances, and each one of us will provide for our own daughter. Anya is about a month older than Luna. For Anya's birthday, I was planning to buy a car for her, and I found a nice second-hand car, but it was $4,000 over my budget. I asked my husband if he could lend me that sum, but he said he can't afford it right now, so I ended up getting a cheaper car. Luna's birthday came and my husband bought her a Honda, and it wasn't even second-hand, it was new. I confronted him and told him if he could afford a new Honda, I'm sure he could afford to give me $4,000. He said if he had given me that $4,000, then he couldn't afford this car. I told him he could have given her a less expensive car, maybe even a second-hand one. He called me in a hole and said we agreed to only be responsible for our own child, but I think it's unfair to treat them so differently. Anya is very upset right now, and Luna bragging about her new car is only making things worse. You're the idiot. At the end of the day, you agreed to separate finances here for your kids. That means these sorts of inequities will happen. You don't get the perks of split finances without the drawbacks. Who is getting the perks though? Presumably both parties regularly when they agreed to this arrangement. Lord knows. I personally don't get how a healthy marriage happens with split finances, but I know and understand that it does seem to work from people I know, while lots of folks on here that sing its praises. The entire idea is alien to me. But what's even more alien is the idea that you have separate finances until you want something. That's bonkers. I can understand it completely if people have a joint account for household expenses, but keep their fun money separate. But doing it for the children's expenses seems like it's ripe for building resentment between the girls if one partner has significantly more money than the other. You're the idiot. You buy a car for your daughter. He buys a car for his daughter. Stick to your agreement. He's clearly sticking to what was agreed upon. I don't get how paying for your own kid translates to not taking the other person's kid into consideration ever, or do whatever you want without communicating to your spouse. While I don't get this arrangement, it was something they agreed to. She seemed to be fine with it until now. If this was a situation where one kid got a car and the other got like a Nintendo Switch, I could see your point. But both kids got cars. You both wanted to stay separate and support kids separate. Not his fault you were short on funds, and not his responsibility to make up the difference. Because separate finances. And let me guess, if the situation were reversed, would you have really given him the $4,000? Be honest. Agreeing with you here. Separate means separate OP. You're the idiot. He is not responsible for your kid and you aren't responsible for his. Hey there, it's your boy Foxy, back for more relationship stories. Divorce hearing today. Went great, feeling great. Original post. My 33 male, wife 33 female cheated on me in December. I walked in on them at his house as I knew what was going on. It was my stepdaughter's father. I have been kicking him off our property for years and keeping his anger in check. I spent all day taking care of the house, the pets, the yard, and her daughter, 4 female. When we got married, she had me donate my beater so I could drive one of her cars. I even did a little part-time work on the side at the law firm she works at. My days began at 6 in the morning and ended as late as 2 a.m. some nights because of all the chores I was responsible for. I tried to forgive her but continued catching her talking to him, and even making plans to sleep with other male friends, all the while assuring me she wanted us to work. She mistreated me sexually and emotionally, telling me that cheating was my fault because I should have done something to stop it, and using guilt and threats to make me sleep with her when I was clear I wasn't ready for that. She got pregnant after I caught her with him and I asked for a DNA test. Instead, she went and got an abortion immediately, and blamed me for that too. I decided to leave last month and quit my job. Since then, my family has been supporting me and I struggle every day to get out of bed and even just feed myself. We were married less than a year. I am getting no spousal support, no car, had to leave my job, lost half of my family, her family, my stepdaughter, I have no home, and was left with no money. If it wasn't for my family helping me, I would be completely homeless. My mental health is in a bad place as I have found out that cheating was happening even when we were just dating. It was all fake or some kind of game for her, and I'm left to pick up the pieces. I was cheated on and maltreated, and I am the only one being punished. I'm told there's little I can do by my lawyer whom I trust a great deal. He is a trusted family friend. What do I do with all this emotion? How do I fix myself? I know I need to take baby steps, get another job, etc., but leaving the house feels like an insurmountable task right now. I'm struggling with severe depression and anxiety in public. Even being with my friends is extremely taxing and leaves me a sobbing mess when I finally can drive home. I feel broken and nothing is getting better and I don't know what to do. Now for the top advice before reading the updates. OP, you need therapy. EDMR for trauma because betrayal and mistreatment can cause PTSD. In fact, your depression or anxiety might be PTSD related. I'm sorry that your marriage ended, and this person you were to love and trust and that you was so horrid. None of what they did or how they behaved was your fault at all. She sounds like a complete narcissist or sociopath. And all your emotion, normal. Time will help, but also a good therapist will also help. Until you are able to start therapy, get a notebook and start a journal, write whatever you wish, what you are feeling, how you feel, what happened to you. Before you met her, how were you? I hate hearing someone was treated this bad by anyone. Please take care of yourself and be kind to yourself here. I was happy living in a little apartment I loved. I spent my days cooking new meals for friends, making crafts, or out hiking, biking, and kayaking all over my home state. I used to like to rock climb and sit in high trees or rocks to admire the landscapes here in the Midwest. I saved my money and traveled to Scotland and Germany with dreams of going to see Siberia someday. The other day, a good friend and I sat out on a flooded quarry in kayaks, ate wild grapes that were growing on the shoreline, talked about apes, and reminisced for hours. It was the happiest I've been in a long time, but I still sobbed all the way home that night. I feel like I am drowning, and that person I used to be is dead and I'm just faking it. I will see what I can do about therapy once I get a stable job going. I have a notebook going already, too. She tried hard to gaslight me once my friends found out, and I didn't want to forget all the things she had done, so I made a list and a timeline. You sound like an amazing person, OP. Yes, you are that same person, except you were treated horribly by someone you trusted when you never should have trusted them. Truthfully, she sounds like a narc. They pick not the weak, they are not the challenge, they try to bring down the strong. Own that. And even strong people cry and break down and deserve help. But we or you will repay others for all the help they have given you. No. She was the fake, you are real. She is now your enemy, and as you look back, you might see the red flags that you ignored. You need to truly recognize those to not pick someone like her again to be close to. There are people out there that would never hurt another like she did or does. Focus on you and healing, and go no contact with her. She doesn't deserve you, she isn't worthy. I appreciate the kind words, but I'm just a totally average guy, and I just want my simple life back. I don't think I'll be ready to trust another partner for a long time, if ever. I'd hate to project any leftover insecurities on a new relationship. Aside from getting tax info from her for the divorce, we haven't been talking. She's mad that I wanted one of her cars so I would have reliable transportation. Fortunately, she lives about 50 minutes north of where I am now living, so the risk of seeing her around is small unless she shows up somewhere. Don't ever just do something for your significant other, especially one you don't know. As you guys were not together long, you did not know her. Sorry, OP, but you asked for this when you said you had to keep kicking her ex out of the property, as he was there likely because your wife was telling him to come. He was showing up to try and assault me and take his daughter from me while I was home alone with her. The signs are there now, but I figured that since we had been together since her daughter was a baby, I could trust her, and I suppose that is my mistake. Now for the first update. A friend informed me that my ex-wife will be bringing the affair partner to the divorce hearing as a final jab at me. How should I deal with this? Several friends have offered to come as support, but some have said I should just do my best to ignore them. What would you do? Take a picture of them together, because in a few months or years, they will be back in that same court getting divorced as well, because one of them is cheating again. Just wait, it will happen. My ex-wife has cheated on everyone she has dated since high school. It came out during couples therapy by her own admission. She had cheated on her previous boyfriend with me and I had no idea. Seems to just be her MO, and the affair partner was physically harming her a few years before we got together, but I'm sure they'll be very happy this time. I would greet the guy and thank him, then hand him a sheet of paper that lists all her exes, their contact info, and info on how she cheated on each of them. Tell the affair partner I wish someone would have done this for me, because I had no clue she was cheating with me on her last relationship. Tell me you won't have the biggest grin on your face while the lawyers are talking about divorce, and you are watching him reading the paper and her getting nervous. OP, dress for success that day, be in your better suit, and go as if it was the most important day of your life. In the courtroom, be as kindest and well-behaved man as you can and tell your friends to do the same. But if any of you have to talk to them, do it only through your lawyer and or apply the gray rock to them. Try ignore them as much as possible and try not to even look at them. Your attitude should be like you were there to pay your taxes. Just go and do whatever you need to do, sign everything and leave with your friends. After all that, just say, "Okay boys, beers are on me," and invite your lawyer to drink with you and your friends. Showing indifference towards your ex and affair partner without being a jerk will hurt their ego more than you being angry or in pain. They will try to press your buttons, but remember, if you fall in this, they win. Don't let them win. Already have the suit picked out. This will likely be my plan. I've known my best friend for over 30 years, and he and I are gonna have a day out after court. Just say something like, "You bring him now, so he isn't shocked when he has to come back later." Funny story, they're already adversarial in court over their daughter. He's trying to get out of paying child support because he is a deadbeat dad. Damn, what a mess. Well, toxic people attract toxic people, I guess. Poor kid. She's really suffering in all this and it kills me. I had her every day till suddenly I was gone. She's already got issues from her bio dad mistreating her, and I'm sure that's only going to get worse. And now for the second update. My divorce hearing was finally today. My post history contains my full story, but TLDR, I was mistreated by my ex-wife after catching her in our bed with another man days after Christmas last year. I tried to reconcile, but as time went on, I kept catching her talking to the same guy, and even planning to go see others out of town while getting inappropriate raunchy Snapchats and texts from them. All while lying to my face and telling me she has cut contact. Every single time. Same story. I finally told her I was leaving and would be filing for divorce, and she told me again that if I left, she would end me. Here we are though. I am alive and she is permanently out of my life. I came home from the courthouse and hit a few new maxes in the gym, and I'm all around feeling great. She doesn't know where I live, moved out of town, and she doesn't know where my new job is. This woman, who I love dearly and would have done anything for, took everything from me. My job, my car, my home, my stepdaughter, my marriage, my mental health, and potentially my baby. Even though I am confident it was a fair partner's baby, she terminated it when I asked for a DNA test. This entire year has been an unending hell for me, and all the while she blamed me for leaving and tearing apart our family. By the time she arrived this morning, I was already speaking to my lawyer. We just had to be present and get the papers signed by the judge. I never looked at her once, not even when she tried to hand me mail from the house. I just grabbed it and kept walking. I did notice that a fair partner didn't come with her, odd since she had been saying to mutual friends he would be coming with. Everything proceeds fine. I was stressed and emotional on the inside, but I kept a gentle smile on my face and kept my spirits high. She was sounding like she was about to cry, but I never looked. It wasn't till I got home that I noticed a note mixed in with my mail. A fair partner wasn't there because he got some other girl he was seeing pregnant. I tore it up and threw it away. She had a loving husband, and she cheated, lied, and hurt me till I left her, and she did it for a loser that was seeing other girls anyway. The cherry on top is that a fair partner hates being a father. He is lazy, beat my ex-wife when they were together, and drops his daughter off with his mother anytime he has her. The kid called him by his first name and called me dad because she barely knew the guy. His own mother cried on Christmas while we shared a drink because she was so happy her granddaughter had me in her life. This new baby will destroy his life even further. My only hope is that whomever he is having this baby with gets away from him as soon as possible for the baby's sake. Despite how high energy I am, I feel very alone today, and am bouncing between very happy and very muted. Sorry if this is all over the place, I'm just feeling very strange. I thought it would feel better, but if I'm being honest, I wish none of us were suffering. You're allowed to grieve. You're allowed to be sad. It almost sounds like you will miss her daughter more than her. I get the impression that you enjoyed being a dad. There is still time to find someone who will be all in just for you. I started over at 32. I was found by a truly amazing woman. We've been a couple for 26 years, married 24. I'm in my 30s as well, so this was nice to read. I'm glad you are doing well. I also caught my ex with her affair partner. We were 2 months from our wedding day. At least there was no need for a divorce. She moved out of our house the next day and in with her affair partner. What happened after was something I never would have thought in my wildest dreams. I posted my story a while ago. You would like to read it. I'll take a look. I hope you're doing well now. You really need to get to therapy to work on yourself. Her cheating is not on you, but you have given this woman too much agency and have aided her disrespect to you by your enabling behaviors. The reason for the therapy is if you don't work on your self-esteem, self-love, and respect, you will repeat your same enabling behaviors in future relationships. You have an opportunity to grow and be a stronger person, but it is up to you to make the changes to grow. My new job came with very good health insurance, and I am already moving in this direction. Thank you for the advice. I have a lot of work to do before I get back out there, really just focusing on myself for a while. Now for the last story. Soon-to-be ex-wife is upset I told my parents about her affair. Original post. My wife and I are separated after 14 years of marriage. Today she called and asked if I told my parents about her affair, and I said yes. I said I needed to because of the way she has recently been acting and making me feel I'm going crazy. I found out about her 2-year affair in 2019. We tried to reconcile, but obviously it didn't work. We never had an agreement to keep the affair between the two of us. In fact, I did keep it secret until now. I told my parents to keep the affair between the three of us, and I trust they will. She went ballistic, stating, "You better pray your mom keeps her f***ing yap shut, because if our kids find out about our private marriage issues, I will tell everyone everything." Mind you, there has never been an issue of anyone on my side of the family keeping a secret. Her side cannot keep anything private to save their lives. And go ahead and tell people, I've got a lot more ammo than you if you want to start spreading dirty laundry. She wanted me to call my mom and see who she's told and impress upon her the importance of keeping it from kids. Obvious, I told her I was not doing that. She was very upset the kids might find out, which they won't because I trust my parents. She was very hostile, threatening, and insane. She was worried about the kids and what if they found out. The texts she sent are horrible. Very awful day, again because of her. Am I crazy, or is this insane behavior from someone who had a 2-year affair with very little consequences until now? Thanks. Now for the top advice before reading the update. You should have told everyone that your wife cheated on you. You gave her control and she's a good liar. When they write stories for themselves, they will blame you. Don't be surprised if she tells the kids or others that you cheated on her. Indeed, OP, you're in the control the narrative situation with the soon-to-be ex-wife. I would keep all records and correspondence with her in 2 drives safely somewhere out of sight and mind, until you have to use them to clear your name or correct lies. Soon-to-be ex-wife is trying to create her BS reality bubble, so she and her affair partner do not have to deal with the guilt and shame and consequences of their actions. Total narcissist and lack of accountability playbook. If the lies and manipulation is this bad now, you need to be ready for parental alienation. It is a very common thing, and if the cheater is an unhinged liar, well, the chances are good you will get mixed up in that second war. Hope for the best and prepare for the worst, in this case OP. As for the kids, they will know soon enough what happened between you two. They will want to know what the truth is. Keep those texts that your soon-to-be ex-wife threatens you with. Kids grow up really fast, especially with the internet now, and they want to know. Keep those texts she sent. Document any and all damaging behavior. If at some point she tries to turn your kids against you, you'll have evidence of her reprehensible behavior. You did nothing wrong by confiding in your parents. You can share your story with whoever you wish. And you don't have to listen to her or engage with her. Make it mandatory that you only communicate via a co-parenting app and hang up the next time she calls to yell at you. Thank you, and I'm doing the co-parenting app in the morning. I'm done with her BS. Why stop at telling your parents? Tell everyone. Friends, family, her parents, your parents. I do not know the age of your children, but I would also tell them. Keeping it from everyone is basically lying. Everybody is entitled to know the truth. Why are you so afraid of your soon-to-be ex-wife? Expose her to the max. There is no reason to keep it secret. The only thing you are doing is telling the truth. Now for the update. Thank you all for the comments and suggestions. I really appreciate it. I will take all of them to heart. I know I've made mistakes in this process, and I'm committed to not making any more. My kids are too young to tell 7 and 11. To be honest, I'm scared because of the legal system and how it favors mothers. Even though she cheated and she is the drunk, I've heard so many good fathers and husbands getting screwed. I haven't talked to her since and don't want to. She's such a sociopath and narcissist. Thank you all for the support.